Hey, what's poppin'? It's your boy Jay the Comedian. How y'all doing today? How am I doing? I feel great. And today I want to talk to you guys about what you should say to anybody who wants to know what you should do in order to leave the organization. Like, what are your reasons for leaving? Before we get to it, if you could subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And of course, this is an XJW video. And as you should with any XJW video, hit the like button so it can be seen by as many people as possible. But okay, let's get to this. What should you say to somebody that's like, so you leave the organization? What reasons do you have to leave? Why are the JW so bad? Well, this is what I find myself doing all the time, all right? Like, a lot. People like, Jake, what's so bad about the organization? Tell me right now what's so bad. And my initial response consistently is, And the reason for that is not because I've reached sexual exploitation. No, it's because I have so many things that I could point out that my mind just, it goes into overload for a couple seconds, maybe even a minute. I don't know. It's a while though. I know that, because there's just so much I can point out that it's hard for me to just immediately come up with a response, and it looks like I don't have a good reason. So I've come up with a solution. Yes, you may need a pen and pencil, but just remember this statement. Now let's see if I can remember it first. Resurrect wrong body, sacrifice beard. I think that's it. Resurrect wrong body, hostage sacrifice beard. There you go. Resurrect wrong body, hostage sacrifice beard. Now, what does that mean? Those are basically my talking points. There's 5 of them, okay? Now, there's way more. Like, for instance, one that I should absolutely add to it is the fact that people should leave the organization because the organization is using its organization to hide and protect people who've done things to kids. And yeah, that's a pretty good explanation, or a pretty good reason to leave the organization. But here's my other ones. Like I said before, God, I'm having a hard time remembering too. It's resurrect wrong body, hostage sacrifice beard. Now, start off with the resurrection, right? According to the Bible, if you believe those things, there's going to be a resurrection of the righteous and the unrighteous. Meaning that at the end of the day, if you think somebody's righteous, unrighteous, whatever you think, God has the final decision on who gets resurrected or brought into paradise or whatever, you know. God has that final decision. No human being can tell you whether or not God is going to allow somebody into heaven or into, paradise. No human being has the right to say that, because only God can tell you that. And if you think God's going to be like, oh, well, I mean, you did go out of service, but you were never a missionary. You never was a full-time minister. Like, what if you just lived a good life and you were never just a minister like that? You just went out when you could. Or you just preached to your friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Like, no man should be able to tell you what God is going to do. That's basically the resurrection part. Now, wrong body. The governing body has proven themselves to be wrong, and they don't even try to come out and say that they're perfect and everything that they say is perfect. Now, if they can be wrong, and if they have been wrong, then you should be able to question them without penalty. That's just kind of how anything works. If you get something and you think it could be wrong, or you think there's a problem with it, then you can question it. Like the other day, I got this this wine vinegar, this cooking vinegar wine or whatever. And when I got home, the top of it was leaking. So I'm like, this top is leaking. It probably shouldn't be doing that. I think I should go back and get my money back for this thing. I took it back to the store, and was the lady like, no, our products aren't perfect. Even though we're imperfect, our products are perfect. So if you want to bring that product back, you need to give us more money instead of us giving you your money back. No, of course she didn't say that. She gave my money back, and she pulled everything else off the shelf to make sure everything was okay and nothing else was leaking. You see what I'm saying? And it should be like that when things can possibly be wrong. There is no, you don't question us. What do you mean you question us? Even though we're imperfect and we make mistakes, you shouldn't question us. No, that's wrong. So now that brings us to hostage. If you're in an organization and you cannot leave said organization without losing your family and friends, that means potentially you're in an organization where God accepts worship from people being held there through a hostage situation. You know what I mean? Now, if you don't love God or you don't like God and you want to leave, then you should be able to just leave. And if things don't work out, guess who will be there for you to point you in the right direction? Your family and friends. At least that's what it should be. But they're like, no, we're going to take them away too. So potentially you could return to the organization, not because you love God, but simply because you want your family and friends. Does that sound like something God would want? Does that sound like the type of worship any God could want? If it can potentially be due to somebody just being afraid to lose their family and friends, then I wouldn't want that type of worship if I was a God. You know what I'm saying? And nobody should. But anyway, that brings us to sacrifice. Now, if you're in an organization and they're asking you to either leave God or potentially sacrifice your life, I'm going to need you to show me where God said to sacrifice my life. Because this is the one thing that, religions, they do a lot of crazy, kooky stuff. But this is where I personally draw the line. People dying in the name of that religion. I have a major problem with that. Not a little problem. A major problem with people dying from their religion. Now, I remember Jesus working on the Sabbath. Even though it was wrong, he was out there saving lives and, healing people and doing all this good stuff. And they're like, well, Jesus, you ain't supposed to be doing that. This is the Sabbath, brother. You ain't supposed to be working at all. He was willing to break the rules to help people and make their lives more comfortable, even probably potentially saving people from death. So why would any regular person who's supposed to be, mind you, following the example that Jesus set, be okay with you dying on a hospital bed when you don't have to? You can accept the blood. If God can forgive a pedo for doing what they do to kids, right? Because according to that organization, he forgives. He can forgive that. But he cannot forgive somebody for taking blood? I'm going to have to call BS on that, brother. That don't sound right to my ears. And you know what? I should probably add that to the list of things. By the way, if you got stuff you'd like to add to my list, you should go ahead and add that too. But yeah, the fact that the worst sin you can commit is speaking against the governing body, that should be pretty high up on anybody's list. Because on my list, personally, it's doing stuff to kids that I consider unforgivable. And in that organization, they got the 2-witness rule and all that other stuff to protect people from justice that do things just like that. So you put more emphasis on talking bad about the Jehovah Witness leadership than you do actual human beings who hurt kids? Really? Very interesting. I don't know if I can support that one, brother. And yeah, that should probably be added to the list. I don't know where I would add it though. Let me see. What is it? How did it go again? Because I got a bad memory. It's I keep forgetting. Is it resurrect, rogue body, sacrifice, hostage, beard? I think that's it. Resurrect, rogue body, sacrifice, hostage, beard. What would I add that? Resurrect, rogue body, satisfy, sacrifice, hostage, beard. I gotta find a good word for it. What's a good word? Just a good one word for that. Unforgivable. There you go. Resurrect, rogue body, sacrifice, hostage, beard, unforgivable. Meaning that the unforgivable sin is questioning the governing body while they forgive the horrors of predators. that should be something that y'all keep in mind. So I hope y'all wrote that down, and I hope you remember it, because these are the points that I would personally point out to anybody who says, well, what do you don't like about the organization? I think I got a pretty good case here. What do you think? Anyway, it's your boy JD Comedian. I hope y'all having a great Tuesday. And yeah, continue your great Tuesday. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video. Holla at your guala. Deuces.